Welcome to the FSR Phenom 300 Echo. It came out yesterday and I picked it up. But before we fly to flight level 450, let's check out a few things, what it includes, what it doesn't include, what I like, and what I don't like that much about this plane. And you may be asking me, well, what we're standing in is not exactly a plane, but it says FS Reborn or FSR. What is this? This comes with the plane as a toolbar app right there. And what this allows you to do is place 3 different types of FBO wherever you want in the world. I already have 3 of them placed across the world, 1 in Australia and 2 here in El Salvador. Personally, this feature is really cool. It features opening doors here on the air side, and I've never spawned this hangar, but I'm assuming, yep, right here on the land side. Although it doesn't lead to anything, we can still walk out these doors and check out the FS Reborn Aviation FBO, let's call it. If you're new to the channel or if you're new to flight sim content, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would help my channel a lot. Now let's check out upstairs. Now in X-Plane, which this is an X-Plane, this is flight sim 24. In X-Plane, we have the Hot Start Challenger, I believe it's 450 or 550, something like that. It includes an FBO like this, not one that you can walk around, just like menu options with a background that's an FBO that's kind of cool. But this includes the plane, which we'll get into here in a second, and the FBO, which, I mean, you can see the detail is just crazy. 7-year forecast. Well, I mean, I would assume this is supposed to be 2026 when they release the plane, because this thing is awesome. Let's see how they're doing. 2024. So they must have made this in 2023, because that's when it says like actual, and then they're doing the projections. I would guess. Oh, these are flights. These are flights. Okay. Why did you go down from... Oh, for COVID. Ah, interesting. I like that. The graph is cool. Shows real world info, and it's obviously not live, but it's pretty cool. It's just a, PNG of some info. And you got... That's the upstairs, and you got downstairs. And then you step out, and you see this really pretty airplane sitting on the ramp. Let's just do a circle checking it out. I mean, we obviously have the Yankee Sierra tail number of a certain plane that I fly in real life. We have the Phenom 300E. I wish it didn't say by FS Reborn. I wish it said Embraer, but I know they can't do that, so I won't get mad because of licensing and stuff. Although I wish they would have asked Embraer for licensing, because that would have been really cool, and then they could have added some cool Embraer paint. But personally, this is my favorite paint. I think it's called Scrapes Black or something like that. It's cool. Or gray, I'm not really sure. So yeah, this is the plane. Now let's get into it. So checking out the plane, we're gonna go in a methodical process. and go from the outside to the inside. Now that we've checked out the FBO here, and by the way, there's 2 other FBOs and 1 other hangar area that's not really an FBO, it's just a building that you can park it in. And as far as I know, this is the only FBO, this one that I have spawned, that you can't actually park the plane in. The other 2, the small one and the large one, both have moving hangar doors that are really cool. So let's start here at the nose, and we'll go to the tail with features, external features. So first we have these nose doors, right? Those can obviously open, and they can be opened from the EFB inside. We have the pitot covers with the nice pitot heat effects. Then we have the gear lock pin, which can also be placed. The pitot tubes can also from the EFB. We have the chocks. I'm not going to take those off now. Then we have the opening door. This is actually very satisfying. Watch this vent here. It opens, then she comes down, and then the lights flick on. It's very, very satisfying. Let's leave that open, and then we can click and get in the cockpit. But we're not going to check out the inside yet. I just wanted to show that you can click. So we'll check out then the leading edges with nice, supposedly 8K textures, and I believe it. It's really pretty. It looks very nice. Then the aileron, it could, I don't know. This is one of the things that I noticed. This aileron trim, it kind of has this weird like black texture. I'm not really sure. Same with the trim tab or the static wicks. The light, very detailed. Not sure really why, but very detailed. Then we move over to the flaps and the spoilers. So if you notice on that spoiler, it has a little thing that's kind of lifted. It's a little like, I don't know what you could call it, but that's for the flap link. I was wondering, so I put the flaps down, and that's for the flap link. So then we have these very nice trailing link landing gears, very sturdy and stout with modeled settling, I guess you could call it. Like on landing, they kind of bend up, right? The flaps can be overspeeded. The speed brakes can be overspeeded. The gear can be oversped, I guess. The wheels and the brakes both have damage, and for the wheels, you can set the pressure, and they will lose pressure as they are damaged. Right now, I think this one's at 80 or so percent, 82 or something. Then you have the GPU port, external power port. There we go. We'll open that. And I guess you need to call it from the EFB, which would make sense. So we'll take out the engine plug there. And then we have the cargo door that you can open. I feel like this opens slower than it does in real life, but I don't know. And you have the vertical tail with the large trimmable horizontal stabilizer. It's like the CRJ series, where not just the elevators are trimmed, the whole stabilizer, I guess stabilator, is trimmed with the jack screw. So let's hope we don't see failures of the jack screw. But this is a private jet, so they're pretty well maintained usually. One thing that I have noticed, I don't know if this is a thing in the real plane, but the back of the control surfaces is flat from some angles and rounded in others. It's kind of weird. I feel like it should be in the wings, I guess it's fine, but I feel like it should be more sharp on the back. I'm not really sure. So you have the other gear, you can see it better here in the light with the lines and all the textures, all the pretty textures. Then the flaps again with the chocks. We can go back out to the right wingtip and back in. And then here is an unexpected, well, I expected it because I knew it was coming, but a very cool thing that you can do. So obviously it won't work right now because I haven't called the fuel truck, but you can open this fuel panel. You can select the power because right now we're not on GPU. And you can actually choose how much fuel you want in here or in the iPad and request the fuel truck in the iPad. And when you request the fuel truck, it will come and fill it up, which is super cool. We'll put that back to norm. We'll shut that, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. But that is essentially, that is the exterior walk around. So let's close these up for now. I guess for now. We don't need to have them open again. And I can go and close the cargo door. Again, you can, all these movable things that I'm moving on the exterior, you can move them from the EFB as well, including the door, the chocks, the spoilers, or the, pitot probes. So we're in the plane now. To connect the GPU, you need to go into the EFB, which is very detailed. As you can see, I have 3 hours, 3.3 hours on the battery, the left tires at 190 to 192 pressure, PSI, fronts at 160, which is within the limits, I believe. The nav bulbs, they have damage, not damage, but like, you know. So this is cool. So what you can do is unload instant. There we go. And then I can select, no, I can select unload instant. All right. So then I can call the GPU, security cones, I guess. And then connect the battery, put in the GPU. We're not gonna fill it with any passengers, but when you do, the car comes and they won't get out, but I'm gonna load a little bit. No, I'm gonna load like half of fuel. So I'll do load real time. So it's requesting the fuel truck. The fuel truck usually takes between like 2 and 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Between those two. So it's saying 1 minute. So in those 1 minutes, we can check out the rest of the cabin. So we have here the flight deck with the weird Embraer yoke. I've never flown one, but I don't see how it would be comfortable. But that's just me. Could be wrong. We have all entirely working fuses. Every single one works. You can pull it out. Boom. And also on the other side. Then over here, you have these switches for the mass mic.
Okay.
Oxygen. There's the TAWS. And let's go back into the cabin. How's the fuel truck doing? The fuel says 2 minutes now. Okay. So it's further. You can open these. You can open all of the doors up. Very cool. At the moment, they don't serve a purpose just to be open, but they could potentially. Although there's one exception. This one, you can click the cup, and you can pour the liquid. It doesn't pour, but you can imagine it does. There we go. So normally when you'd have the passengers in here, they would occupy the seats, but now there's no passengers, so they don't occupy the seats. And when they're sitting, you can control the, you can give them food in the EFB because they get hungry and they get thirsty actually pretty quickly, and they'll get angry if the cabin isn't pressurized or if it's not heated properly. But that pulls out the table, and when you give them food, the table will have food on it. Another thing, if you come over to this seat or this seat, you can open this little... Wait, is it not this seat? Is it this seat? No. Was it only the one that? It's only this one. Okay, that's interesting. You can open this, and this little terminal allows you to change the lights to, let's say, all lights on. And that will turn, it should turn all the lights on inside. You can also control this to a lesser degree in the cockpit. You can just make them off, medium, I think, or on. Let's do area lights. I haven't really messed around with this, but table lights, okay. So the table lights, yeah, here, okay, that's pretty cool. Then reading lights. No, it should have turned on all the, yeah, okay. That's actually really cool. Cabin wash lights, presets. Okay, yeah, that's all lights on. So there's Wi-Fi, I guess. I don't know what it's really for. And then you can set the cabin temperature that they desire. If it gets hotter than 82 or colder than 66, they start getting angry. So I usually put it like in the middle, like 74 or so. Yeah, so you can... That's cool. You can load a video, I believe, or maybe this isn't working yet. But if you put a Simbri flight plan in the EFB, it will show here. I did try that. It'll show time remaining and all that. Volume, cabin volume. Okay, that's cool. And then home is just nothing. And then it gets hidden away in there, and these can be folded. And I believe I've done a little bit of testing, at least with passengers, the pillows can't fall. But I saw in one of their videos, that the pillows can fall. So look at that. We have the fuel truck there waiting for us. So we're gonna go out, open fuel door and fuel cap. I think it's with GSX. So if you don't have GSX, I don't know if this will work, but I would think it still would, because I mean, this is like a feature. So battery, actually we're on GPU, so we don't need it. So fuel quantity and open fuel valve. So I'm gonna set the fuel quantity. How much do we want? Probably, I'll set just like 3,000 pounds, because it doesn't really matter, because I'm not gonna take off, at least in this video. Actually 2,500 is fine. There we go, like that. So then we open the fuel valve. Refueling in progress. You can see it's filling up. Now then you can go into the cockpit, and you can see door refuel open, engine no dispatch, GPU, all those are on. So this is the cockpit lights that I was telling you. You can control the cabin PAX control to, or no, you can off PAX control and then max. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Emergency lights are on. Nav lights are on. Strobe lights, inspection lights, no, that can be off. So then you can see it is adding fuel, and it's gonna add fuel until I did 2400, I think. So you can see here, this is where you serve the passengers coffee, snacks. You can give them PAs. Like, let's do a PA. Actually, don't. Yeah, it's not going because I don't think we have passengers. You can see the cabin status, AC, fan, and temperature. With the door open, it's hot. Here you could do maintenance. You can see engine 2 is 2 hours. Engine 1 has also 2 hours. The fuel quantity is good. Hydraulic pump. I actually, in the left engine, I had a alternator failure already, so I just had to fix it. See last maintenance 2.15, and you can see generator 2 because it failed mid-flight, so I was running on 1, and let me tell you, the avionics did turn off and they didn't recover because one generator, the last remaining generator, overheated and popped the fuse constantly. So you can see the left tire health 88, like I was saying, 94, and front tire health 95. 160 psi. Recommended tire pressure is 150 for the front and 180 for the rear. So you can see these are higher pressure than normal. So we can lower it, I would imagine. Like so. There we go. And then realism, you have all these features. Bird strikes. I wonder how to get a bird strike to happen. But in order to complete, close fuel valve. Yeah, we can go back out and close the fuel valve. Check the quantity. So we have quantity 2,400 pounds. So when it says close fuel valve, that is this thing right here. Close that. Shut the door. Close that. And close the front door. Now if we go in the cockpit, that warning should have cleared. GPU connected, yes. Okay. So that was the complete walk around other than loading passengers, but you load them in the same way. You load them by just making these sliders. I prefer to put each passenger for reasons that I'll show you in the next video. It's best to put each passenger 200 pounds or just all the same weight, just to make it easier. I use 200 pounds, so I'll put packs 1 to 200 pounds, and packs 2 to 200 pounds, packs 3, and packs 4. Because, why? So if I do this, well, I'm not going to do it, but when I'm setting up the weight and balance later on, you have to do aircraft loading, and it's easier because you can see this is packs 1-2. If I have 2 people in seats 1 and 2 that are 200 pounds, I just go 400 and call it good, you know. But I don't, so you can see the loading or the summary and the CG aft limit because we don't have anything there. So let's I think I'm gonna end this video here. I will see you guys for the next video. I hope you liked the video, and please subscribe and put a like on the video. Thank you. Bye bye.